Morning, everyone. Well, I don't know about you, but I'm not enjoying this change in weather. Not at all liking the rain. 2 seconds, because I'm about to drop the computer. Never a good thing. And also the laptop. Oh, see, it's going to be one of those days. Also the camera, I meant. I don't know what's going on today. Anywho, it's the rain. Let's blame the rain. It can't be the wind. There isn't any wind. Here we go. Ancient Egypt Tales, The Two Brothers. It's in 2 parts, so we'll see how far we get. How long the video takes for part 1. There were once 2 brothers, and they were sons of the same father and of the same mother. Anpu was the name of the elder, and the younger was called Bata. Now Anpu had a house of his own, and he had a wife. His brother lived with him as if he were his son, and he made garments for him. It was Bata who drove the oxen to the field. It was he who ploughed the land, and it was he who harvested all the grain. He laboured continually upon his brother's farm, and his equal was not to be found in the land of Egypt. He was imbibed with the spirit of a god. In this manner the brothers lived together, and many days went past. Each morning the younger brother went forth with the oxen, and when evening came, he drove them again to the byre, carrying upon his back a heavy burden of fodder which he gave to the animals to eat, and he brought with him also milk and herbs for Anpu and his wife. While these 2 ate and drank together in the house, Bata rested in the byre with the cattle, and he slept beside them. When day dawned and the land grew bright again, the younger brother was first to rise up, and he baked bread for Anpu and carried his own portion to the field and ate it there. As he followed the oxen, he heard and he understood their speech. They would say, "Yonder is sweet herbage," and he would drive them to the place of their choice, whereat they were well pleased. They were indeed noble creatures, and they increased greatly. The time of ploughing came on, and Anpu spoke unto Bata, saying, "Now get ready the team of oxen, for the Nile flood is past, and the land may be broken up. We shall begin to plough on the morrow, so we carry the seed to the field, so that we may sow it." As Anpu desired, so did Bata do it. When the next day dawned and the land grew bright, the 2 brothers laboured in the field together, and they were well pleased with the work which they had accomplished. Several days went past in this manner, and it chanced that on the afternoon the seed was finished. They had completed their task. Anpu spoke to his brother, saying, "Quickly get to the granary and find more seed." Bata ran towards the house and entered it. He beheld his brother's wife sitting on a mat, plaiting her hair. "Please, could you get up and go and get the corn for me, so that I may hasten back to the field? Please don't make me wait." The woman sat still and said, "Go yourself and open the storeroom. Take whatever you desire. If I were to rise for you, my hair would be a mess. I'm not going." Bata opened the storeroom and went within. He took a large basket and poured it into it a great quantity of seed. He came forth through the house carrying the basket. The woman looked and said, "What is the weight of that great burden?" Bata answered, "There are 2 measures of barley and 3 of wheat. I carry in upon my shoulders, can't speak, 5 measures of seed." "Great indeed is thy strength," sighed the woman. I do contemplate and admire it each day." Her heart was moved towards him, and she stood up, saying, "Come with me, sit for a while. I will sit and clothe you in fine clothing." Bata was made angry like a panther and said, "I look upon you as my mother, and my brother is like a father to me. You have spoken evil words, and I desire not to hear them any more, nor will I repeat unto any man what you have just said." He departed abruptly with his burden of seed and ran to the field, where he resumed his labour. At evening, Anpu returned home, and Bata prepared to follow him. The elder brother entered his house and found his wife lying there, and it seemed as if she had suffered a violence from an evildoer. She did not give him water to wash his hands, as was her custom, nor did she light the lamp. The house was in darkness. She moaned where she lay as if she was sick, and her garment was beside her. "Who has been here?" asked Anpu, her husband. The younger woman answered, "No one came to save me except your younger brother. He spoke evil words unto me and said, I am not as a mother, and he is not thine elder brother as a father unto you. Then he was angry and he struck me until I promised that I would not inform you. Oh, I will allow him to live now. I shall surely die." The elder brother became angry like a panther. He sharpened his dagger and went out and stood behind the door of the byre with the purpose to slay young Bata when he came home that evening. I'm going to go on and read the second part of the story. The sun had gone down when Bata returned, drove the oxen into the byre, came back carrying on his back the fodder and herbs, and in one hand he had a vessel of milk, as was his custom each evening. The first oxen entered the byre, and then it spoke to Bata, saying, "Beware, for your brother is standing behind the door. In his hand is a dagger, and he desires to slay you. Do not draw close to him." The lad heard with understanding what the animal had said. Then the second oxen entered and went into his stall and said likewise words of warning, saying, "Take speedy flight." Bata appeared below the byre door and saw the legs of his brother, who stood there with the dagger in his hand. He at once threw down the burden on his back and made a hurried escape. Anpu rushed after him furiously with a sharp dagger. In his sore distress, the younger brother cried unto the sun god Rahamachis, saying, "O blessed Lord, thou art he who distinguished between falsehood and truth." The god heard his cry with compassion and turned round. He caused a wide stream to flow between the two brothers, and behold, it was full of crocodiles. Then it came that Anpu and Bata stood confronting one another, one on the right bank and the other on the left bank. The elder brother twice smote his hands with anguish because that he could not slay the younger. Bata called out to Anpu, saying, "Tarry where thou art until the earth is made bright once again. Lo, when Ra, the sun god, rise up, I shall reveal in his presence all that I know, and he shall judge between us. He shall decide what is false and what is true. Know thou that I may not dwell with thee any longer, for I must depart unto the fair region of the flowering acacia tree." When day dawned and the sun god Ra appeared in his glory, the two brothers stood gazing upon one another across from the stream of crocodiles. Then the lad spoke to his elder brother, saying, "Why did you come against me, desiring to slay me with treachery? Yet I had spoken for myself. Am I not your younger brother? And have you not been as a father, and your wife as a mother to me? Here and now when I have hastened to find you seed, your wife spoke, saying, 'Sit with me.' But this happening has been related to you in another way." So spoke Bata, and he told his brother what was true regarding the woman. Then he called to witness the sun god and said, "Great was the wickedness in desiring to murder me by treachery." As he spoke, he cut off a piece of his flesh and flung it into the stream, where it was devoured by a fish. He sank fainting upon the bank. Anpu was stricken with sadness, tears running down from his eyes. He desired greatly to be beside his brother on the opposite bank of the stream of crocodiles. Bata spoke again, saying, "You desired an evil thing, but if you desire now to do good, I shall instruct you what you should do. You need to go home, tend to the oxen, for now you know that I cannot dwell with you any longer, but I must depart upon to the fair region of the flowering acacia. What you shall do is to come to see me when I need your aid, for my soul shall leave my body and have its dwelling in the highest blossom of the acacia. When the tree is cut down, my soul will fall upon the ground. There you may seek it, even if your quest be for 7 years, for you shall find it if it is such your desire. You must then place it in a vessel of water, and I shall come to life again, and reveal all that has befallen and what shall happen thereafter. When the hour come to set forth on the quest, The beer given to you will bubble, and the wine will have a foul smell. These shall be the signs for you. Bata took his departure and went into the valley of the flowering acacia, which was across the ocean. His elder brother returned home. He lamented, throwing dust upon his head. He killed his wife and cast her to the dogs, and abandoned himself to mourning for his younger brother. Many days went past. Excuse me. And Bata reached at length the valley of the flowering acacia. He dwelt there alone, hunted wild beasts. At eventide he lay down to rest below the acacia, in whose highest blossom his soul was concealed. In time he built a dwelling place, and he filled it with everything he desired. Now it chanced that on a day when he went forth, he met the 9 gods who were surveying the whole land. They spoke one to another, and then asked of Bata why he had forsaken his home because of his brother's wife, for she had since been slain. Return again, they said, for thou didst reveal unto your older brother the truth of what happened to you. They took pity on the youth, and Ra spoke, saying, Fashion now a bride for Bata, so that he may not be alone. Then the god Numu fashioned a wife whose body was more beautiful than any other woman's in the land, because she had divinity. Then came the 7 Hathors and gazed upon her. In one voice they spoke, saying, She shall surely die a speedy death. Bath loved her dearly. Each day she remained in his house while he hunted wild beasts, and he carried them home and laid them at her feet. He warned her each day, saying, Walk not outside, lest the sea may come up and carry you away. I could not rescue you from the sea spirit, against whom I am as weak as thou art, because my soul is concealed in the highest blossom of the flowering acacia. If another should find my soul, I must needs fight for it. Then he opened up his whole heart and revealed its secrets. And I'm going to leave it there and tell you part 3 tomorrow. So I'll see you tomorrow. Have a lovely day. Hopefully the rain is going to stop and we can get back out and play. Bye-bye for now.